A U.S. Court of Appeals hearing today in Washington challenging the Environmental Protection Agency and its rules on greenhouse gas emissions. Virginia and Texas, along with power plant companies, business groups, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, arguing the EPA relied on biased and inaccurate data from scientists. My next guest maintains that global warming proponents are engaging in outright fraud, and their data is rigged and using it as an excuse to redistribute wealth in this country. Joining us tonight, Senator James Inhofe, ranking member of the Environment and Public Works Committee, who's just written a brand new book entitled The Greatest Hoax: How the Global Warming Conspiracy Threatens Your Future. And you can check out more on the book at loudobbs.com. Senator, great to have you with us. Let's turn to first the challenge against the EPA before the appellate court. Is it your sense that that's going to prevail?
We won't know probably, Lou, till I'd say June. But keep in mind, they have done an endangerment finding. And if you'll recall, at the time they did the endangerment finding, I asked the administrator of the EPA, record, live on TV, and said, you know, if you do this is right before I left to be the one-man truth squad in Copenhagen. I said, I have a feeling that...
I did a heck of a job, I should point out.
Oh, it was kind of fun. The most enjoyable 3 hours I ever had in my life, but it's a long way to get there. Anyway, I said, to do this endangerment finding, you've got to rely on some science. What is that science going to be? And she said, well, of course, the IPCC, that's the United Nations. Your viewers know that. They're very sophisticated. And it happened, you talk about poetic justice. It wasn't a matter of months or weeks. It was a matter of hours before ClimateGate came in.
Right.
So there they have it.
I was going to point out that you were there in Copenhagen before ClimateGate and all that has unfolded since then.
It actually was happening when I was over there. If you remember, I went over there and spoke after Pelosi and Hillary and Obama and John Kerry. I was the one man. In fact, when I talked to the 191 nations there, they all had one thing in common. They all hated me. But I told them the truth. Well, now they know it was true.
Well, Senator, let's turn to somebody who's becoming an object of some concern, if not scorn, and that is Energy Secretary Stephen Chu. Telling Congress that lower energy prices, specifically lower gasoline prices, that's just not a major concern of his. What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is I appreciate his honesty, because I knew it wasn't. And as you pointed out several times, we talked before, he made that statement way back in, I guess, '08,
right,
that their goal was to get it up to $8 or $9, up to the comparable amount in Europe.
They're about halfway there.
Yeah, we're about halfway there. And on top of that, look, right now, if they go on with their regulations as they're trying to do, and that's what this court case is all about, I don't think that the court is going to overturn the endangerment finding, because that's not the way the law is structured. Once the EPA has made that declaration, you've got to then prove your case against it. It'd be very difficult to do. But even if that's the case, it's still going to end up in a huge tax increase, but not as great as if they find this finding and they proceed with regulations. You know, you stop and think, as high as the gas prices are now, what would they be once they start regulating the refineries?
Senator, let me ask you real quickly. As you know, Barney Frank, Ed Markey, two congressmen calling for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to be tapped by this administration. Your reaction?
Well, my reaction is it's a strategic petroleum reserve. It's there. What if we have another Katrina, for example? What if something happens, another Persian Gulf War? That's the kind of thing that's there for, to take care of. You don't want to touch that. And besides that, even if we did, that would be a temporary fix. Let's go after, you've said this several times, but not many people realize that we have more recoverable reserves in America in coal, oil and gas than any country in the world.
Senator James Inhofe, we're always appreciative of your time, and we appreciate you being here. And the book is The Greatest Hoax, and you can go to loudobbs.com, click on the book, and buy a copy. Senator, thanks for being here. Up next, the Catholic